Hello there, and welcome back to the Keeping Your Marriage Hot and Holy podcast, where we discuss embracing intimacy through the years and cultivating passionate, God-honoring marriages. I'm Chara Taylor, your host, pastor, and sex coach, and I'm here to guide you through the joys and challenges of intimacy at every stage of life. I do hope that you enjoyed the last episode, and today we're going to be diving into another important topic. Sex toys. Yep, we're going to talk about sex toys, what is acceptable for Christian couples, and the different benefits of these sex toys. One truth is that many couples are unsure of what is acceptable in the bedroom because of the different teachings and myths that are out there about sex, especially from the church and that for Christian couples. I want to reiterate that when it comes to restrictions, God restricts the who, not the how, nor the where. Okay? And we also must consider that, according to Scripture, the marriage bed is considered undefiled. Therefore, as long as you and your spouse are in agreement, and it does not include another person, most things are okay to add and even consider. I would even go as far as to recommend that you pray about these things before actually introducing them and or starting them so that you both are comfortable. I remember when my husband and I were newly married, we were led by by a church's teachings that as a husband and wife, all that we could do was kiss and then have actual physical intercourse. We were told that we couldn't do anything beyond kissing. And so we tried it. We repented because we wanted to definitely make sure that we were honoring God. After about 6 months of just kissing and going right to the physical part, we were starting to look at each other kind of crazy. Like, okay, there's got to be more to this than this. Could be because we had already awakened love before its time. But it also could be because we just knew that there had to be more. My husband recommended that we go on a fast at about 6 months after trying to live the way that we were being taught. And we did. We went on a fast, and that's really the beginning of how we got this ministry started of awakening love, helping couples keep their marriage hot and holy. The Lord began to show us through Scripture and encourage us that to make us aware that He is definitely okay with us enjoying one another completely, fully, and wholly. And so I really wanted to share that. I'm not sure if any people really knew the background of how our ministry really got started. It is really because we were told what we couldn't do, and we went on a seek and search and ask of our Father of what we can do. So in that, we learned that sex toys are acceptable as Christian couple. But one thing that I find very funny is, as adults, we really are just children who grew up. And we still like to have fun, and we still like to play. As adults, we just need new and different kind of toys. Okay, we don't need the big wheels, and many of us are not jump roping, and we're not playing with the Legos like we used to. And some people are into video games, but as adults, we still like to have fun. All right, so let's talk about what sex toys are acceptable for Christian couples. Now, while this is definitely a personal decision because between husband and wife, because everyone is different, there are some commonly acceptable things that can and will enhance intimacy without introducing guilt, without there being any shame. And I want to talk about some that are tasteful, Christian-friendly, and designed to enhance intimacy in a God-honoring way. All right? And we pretty much know most of these things. But so this is just going to kind of be a review for some people, and it's going to be liberating for others. All right, let's start with lubricants. Lubricants are definitely acceptable and welcome into the Christian married bedroom. Why? Because lubricants help with dryness. And we must admit that as we get older, things change in our bodies, and one of the things that changes is hormones, and those things affect the lubrication that our body does naturally. So using lubricants, it makes intimacy more comfortable and enjoyable. And so what you should do is make sure you look for some that are right for the occasion. So there are natural ones, there are organic ones, there are just like me that I sell. The one that's just like me is water-based. So you have water-based that makes it feel exactly like yourself. But then you can branch off into some warming lubricants or some cooling ones just to add some sensation to the time. But something that we must remember is that our love tunnel can get micro tears. And anything that it has a rip or a tear is going to develop some scar tissue. And so lubricating down there will help to prevent those micro tears, and it'll help to keep that area moisturized so that you don't have any other issues like your pH balance being thrown off, or your or you needing or developing scar tissue from rips and tears. All right. So lubricants, get you some lubricants. I have several different options on my website that are fun and that are beneficial. Beyond that, sensory enhancements. There are things to enhance the sensation in the area down yonder, because if you're on medications, or if you're having a chronic health condition, even as little something like stress, anxiety, these different things can cause a change in the blood flow and restrict the blood flow. And so we need something sometimes to wake up the blood flow down in our down yonder areas. Okay. And so you can get an enhancement cream that is a vasodilator. And so it opens up the area so that blood flow can come even more freely, and it moves past the restrictions of the medications. Okay. Other things to consider are things like blindfolds, silk blindfolds, or feather ticklers, or massage oils. These things can also heighten the sensation while deepening your connection. All right. Massagers. Yep. I'm going to call them massagers, but they're known as vibrators. So some couples can use small external massagers to enhance foreplay and pleasure. You don't necessarily need one that is penetratable or one that you can insert, but there are plenty that you can use together as a couple that only focuses on the exterior and the outer areas, bringing more life and more satisfaction to the time that you have together. These can be especially helpful for women who need more stimulation to reach orgasm, because 86% of women need clitoral stimulation in order to reach orgasm. And one of the truths is that while we're in that moment, if with penetration and being intimate, usually if actual physical penetration is happening, then external stimulation is not. Usually they're both not happening at the same time. Some people are great about making sure everything is handled all at one time, but some people are not. And so including an external stimulator is a great way to make sure that the woman reaches what it is that she's trying to reach within satisfaction. Okay. So consider those things. Consider doing bedroom games and dice. There are Christian-friendly intimacy games with dice, with playful prompts, and that encourage you to explore in a lighthearted way. Okay, there are some that can get a little bit more raunchy, and that's okay if you like that kind of thing. But for those who are beginners, find different. You can use the dice. You can use there's card games. There are different things that will prompt you to do, and this is especially fun for those who are a little bit more timid and a little bit more shy about either initiating or keeping it going. Or for those who get to that place in marriage where you're like, I am just simply tired of always being the one to initiate, and that things are going to be routine. Introducing these things can definitely break up the monotony. Okay. And then one of my favorites are the vibrating rings. If you have listened to me for any amount of time, I am going to talk about a C ring, because they are designed to enhance pleasure for both spouses. All right. Without it being solo focused. vibrating rings, C rings, goes on his vegetable to help him out. All right, it restricts the blood flow, and it makes the carrots harder, and it slows him down from releasing faster than he wants to. It takes the think out of it, and it also, the ones that I have, one of my favorites is called Double Feature on my website, and Double Feature is created to satisfy both the man and the woman. But you're going to also need to have some type of lubricant for that, because you just can't put a silicone ring on a vegetable without it causing some pain. All right. Anyhow, let me move on. What you want to avoid when you're talking about this is anything that's going to replace your spouse. Sex toys are a complement. They're not a substitute. Okay? They're not a substitute for physical and emotional intimacy. And you need to make sure that you are not doing things solo, because that can lead to a disconnection and a feeling of betrayal. And you want to also avoid things that are in pornographic or explicit themed products, because anything that draws you, we want to stay away from anything that draws you from worldly lust, unrealistic expectations, and ungodly influences. Okay, so we definitely recommend not being involved in things that are pornographic. All right. Anything that causes discomfort, pain, or violates a person's personal convictions, you want to stay away from that. So if your spouse is uneasy, it's best to wait, discuss it, and ensure mutual agreement. I want to recommend that if you can get with a sex coach or a sex therapist, so that you guys can have these conversations where someone can either mediate or help you both to see different ideas and open up your mind. Because if we're truthful with all things, somebody plants, somebody waters, and it's God who gives the increase. And sometimes we don't listen to each other. We absolutely need to hear it from somebody else. If you have children, I am sure you know that to be true. Okay. All right. So look, if a sex toy or enhancement is used in a way that aligns with your biblical principles, mutual pleasure, unity, and love, it can be a wonderful addition to your marriage. So remember to keep the conversation open, prioritize each other's comfort, and always remember, God designed intimacy to be joyful, passionate, and guilt-free in marriages. All right. God's design for intimacy in marriages. He really wants us to enjoy it, be fulfilling. Right. And I just want to give you just a final thought, and then tell you where you can actually go and browse to maybe find some. My final thought on this is that adding variety doesn't mean that you're chasing extremes. It means embracing creativity, connection, and the joy of discovering each other over again and again. Because after you've been together for a while, you may need some fresher options, all right? When you and your spouse feel safe, loved, and excited about intimacy, then your marriage flourishes. And then that glorifies God, all right? I want to let you know that I have an opportunity and a way for you to shop discreetly. I know everyone is not open about these topics, and I understand that. But if you want to shop discreetly and look for things to build up or add to your marriage, you can go to my website at keepithotandholy.com. That is www.keepithotandholy.com. So keep it hot, letter N, holy.com, and explore all of the different things that we believe are friendly enough to add to a Christian marriage. All right. If this episode blessed you, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another couple who might need a little encouragement in this area, all right? Keep pursuing passion, keep honoring God in your marriage, and as always, keep it hot and holy. And I look forward to speaking with you the next time. Blessings and intimacy to you all. Thank you.